We're celebrating a birthday. Stay tuned as Carolina People highlights Around Myrtle Beach magazine. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in Conway, South Carolina, at the historic train depot on Highway 905. We're focused on the first anniversary edition of Around Myrtle Beach magazine, and we're visiting with its publisher and owner and founder, Alton Swann. Alton, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Incredible to highlight the upcoming issue that'll be coming out around Thanksgiving, the cover that's commissioned by Tommy Davis. I think Tommy Davis will be coming on to talk about how you commissioned him to do the focus on Barefoot Marina and the resort, and the ability to recognize your fourth issue upcoming. We're really excited.
Thank you. We are too. We're very excited to have Tommy did a spectacular piece of artwork for our front cover.
Oh yeah.
It's really exciting to be approaching our first year anniversary.
So many things have happened over the last 12 months. To think of the inception of the magazine, seeing a lot of billboards up on the Strand promoting Around Myrtle Beach. I know the excitement, the recognition, and then to see in the recent past some other publications coming out on your heels, recognizing your success and seeing the thrill that goes into to society events and so many features that you all have done, spurring some, I guess, semi-competitors that have come on the scene. Can we talk real quick about yourself, Alton? Are you originally from the area?
I'm not originally from the Grand Strand. I'm originally from Edgefield, South Carolina, and I vacationed here as a child growing up, and decided to move here about 2 years ago and start the magazine. And this is my home now. I've sold my home that I grew up in Augusta and invested it into the magazine, and I love it here. This is a great place to live.
So the launch of the magazine is what brought you to Myrtle Beach?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How did the magazine get its start?
Well, I moved to Myrtle Beach knowing I was going to start a magazine. I didn't know what kind or what size, what format it was going to be in. Originally, I had planned on doing a digest size magazine, and that's what I had done in other markets. And when I came to Myrtle Beach, I realized that it really lacked a good publication that focused on the locals and that recognized the locals and the events that are going on. You had a lot of digest size travel guides, but you really didn't have any a real magazine with some meat to it and some good articles and good pictures. And so I looked at several other publications in other cities and compared those, and just we started at St. Clement's on some cocktail napkins.
Is that right?
And planned it out there.
When you said we started, obviously a lot of this was in your mind, Alton, but were there some other folks involved in the inception of the publication?
Yeah, when I moved here, it's just I was just in the right place at the right time. So many times, and I met so many great and talented people that helped me plan this and helped me get it off the ground. And just one person after another just really played a big part in it.
Definitely.
Our writers, our editor, Jerry, our photographers, Gene Ho, Jack Thompson. We all work together and make it a great publication, and it's getting better and better with each issue. And we're really excited about this year anniversary edition, our fourth edition coming out. It's just going to be our best issue yet, and each issue gets better and better.
I know.
It's really exciting.
I've seen that out. Was there a particular inspiration for the magazine? Anything or anyone that inspired you?
Well, my grandmother inspired me to get it going, and she actually helped me a lot get it going. And because I'd planned on doing it. It was actually 3 years in the planning before I actually took the dive and moved here. And she just got me to do it. And it, really thankful for all the inspiration that she gave me and the advice that she gave me as a child growing up.
That's wonderful. It's great to have a good grandmother like that. Do you have any goals or objectives for the future of the magazine going forward?
Sure. We like to expand our distribution to a national and even international level. I think our magazine is a great tool to promote Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand area. That gives people, when they come here on vacation or when they see it in a Barnes and Noble somewhere out of state, it gives them an insight of the kind of lifestyle that we live here, and what a great place this is to live and to year round.
Yeah.
It's just.
What kind of a business is advertised in the magazine?
Restaurants, real estate, brokerage firms, banks, that sort of thing.
And how do advertisers primarily benefit from the magazine's truly timeless value?
That's just a great thing for the advertiser is the quality of our publication, and we're careful selecting the type of grade of paper that we use and the glossy cover, and we do a UV coating on the outside cover, which makes it last a lot longer. Makes it a coffee tabletop piece actually. I mean, there's still magazines from last year that I see when I go in the doctor's offices or different hospitals, waiting rooms all over town. People tell me that they see it everywhere, and because it really has a very long shelf life. 5 years from now, someone could have a copy of our anniversary edition sitting in their living room at barefoot in their home, and that's just an unlimited value. You really can't put a number on what that does for the advertisers in the magazine.
Alton, can you tell the viewers real quick the primary focus of Around Myrtle Beach magazine?
Absolutely. We are focusing on real estate, golf, society events, of course, culture, history. That's something you're going to see in every issue of Around Myrtle Beach. You're going to see golf articles, real estate articles focusing. We're going to feature a different home every issue, the interior design, and the changes that are going on in the area. And then with the charities, we work with a lot of charities, and we want to help the charities and publicize this areas and do what we can to help this community grow. Because this is a great place to live, and we want to see it grow, and we want to be a major part of that growth.
Alton, there's so many more questions I want to ask you. Would you be willing to come on another time to help fill the viewers in a little more about upcoming editions of Around Myrtle Beach?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Great.
Thank you for having me today. I
truly
enjoyed it.
Alton Swann, publisher and founder of Around Myrtle Beach magazine, upcoming 4th edition. Its first anniversary edition. Catch it on newsstands around Thanksgiving. Alton, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Carolina People coming up next. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're in Conway, South Carolina, at the historic train depot on Highway 905. We're focused on the first anniversary edition of Around Myrtle Beach magazine, and we're visiting with the cover artist, Tommy Davis. Tommy, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Incredible opportunity to highlight the upcoming publication. It's almost out on the newsstands, and I understand you've got a very intimate part dealing with the publication. You were commissioned to do tell the viewers a little bit about what you were commissioned to do, please.
Well, I was very excited to be able to do a portrait of painting of the Barefoot Landing's new marina before it's actually there. So I had to get a point of view. So I went across the water, look back, and try to imagine boats and the marina in full action and the the condominiums in the background, and just try to create a little sunset view and try to create an atmosphere where people are going to be boating back and forth between different marinas along the coastal waterway. And I used to live down in Fort Lauderdale, so I can imagine what it's going to be like here one day as what that is right now.
And this truly was in your imagination. I mean, the marina's not yet there.
Correct. And it was a great commission job. I had to stop everything I was doing. They needed it right away for the cover, which is coming out next week. And I just took lots of photographs, imagination, and looked at some boats and put it all together.
That's fantastic. Some viewers may remember you from a few weeks ago, last month, when we were highlighting Collectors Cafe. You're one of the founders of the cafe and the vice president of Collectors Cafe and Art Gallery in Myrtle Beach. Can you tell the viewers a little about yourself? Were you originally from the area?
Originally from here. Grandfather was here and father, and glad to be here still.
You went to school in the area?
Myrtle Beach High School, and then went to Clemson, and then went to art school in Atlanta after that.
Is that right? And what had you been doing? You'd gone to art school prior to setting up the cafe and art gallery.
That's correct. I was an advertising major.
Is that right? When did you first know you wanted to be an artist, Tommy?
When I did paintings as gifts for people and gave them Christmas time, and to see people get excited about getting an original oil painting. And I said, well, if I can do this as a gift, I can do this for myself.
Yeah.
And it started from there.
There was no particular event that motivated you to become an artist?
Well, when I went to New York and saw that Matisse exhibit, that was the major event. Said I want to paint the rest of my life.
Golly. And you've been doing just that. Do you have a favorite medium?
Oil, definitely. And I do stone sculptures also. So
Is that right?
something new over the past few years from Brook Green Gardens.
Do you ever have any of those sculptures at the gallery?
Oh, yeah, we have several there.
Is that right? Do you have a favorite subject, Tommy?
Subject, I just like to be able to express places that I've gone to, experiences. That's my favorite subject, the latest venture, journey that I've been on.
And speaking of places you've been or places you're planning on going, I think I heard from somebody you're planning a big trip in the near future.
I'm planning on just taking off to Paris and get an apartment and travel through the city and paint different expressions of buildings and people. It's something I like to do every year, and this year I'm just going to get a nice apartment and sit there and live for a little while.
And you're not talking about Paris, South Carolina?
No, Paris, France. And,
gal.
hopefully it won't be too bad. It's going to be cold, but be in a nice apartment.
Are you taking anyone with you, Tommy?
Yes, I probably will.
Well, that could be exciting, being over there. And,
An assistant.
An assistant, that's great. Tommy Davis with his assistant in Paris, France. That's spectacular. Was there anything, the length of time you've been producing artwork in an actual ability to sell? How long have you been producing artwork?
Been producing for about 12 years. And you can sit in your studio and you can paint all you want, but it's all about marketing. You have to be able to sell the works. If you want to, you can just keep them and give them away. But I have a business degree and a marketing degree, and I incorporated that into the art degree. So I'm an artist and a businessman, and it's a great combination if you take care of what you're producing, what you're creating.
Definitely, definitely. Have you ever taken any lessons, Tommy?
No, I've never taken any art lessons, but I don't think I could give any either.
Yeah, have you ever given any lessons?
No, I think it's just something that I've got inside, I just release, but it's hard to teach somebody how to do that. You just have to do it.
Well, I understand you were an inspiration for one person in particular. I believe talking to your mother a couple weeks back that you were her inspiration about 8 years ago for her getting into art as a full-time passion.
Yeah, I've gotten her into sculpting and the art, and now golf, so getting in all kinds of things.
What prompted you to open a cafe and a gallery there in Myrtle Beach?
Once again, the marketing of being able to create work and then put it on the walls right when you finish. It's a real luxury. Not many artists get to do that. And we also try to help other artists. I mean, I tried to get in many galleries, and I was turned down. So I said, let's just create our own gallery and give other artists a chance. So we represent 25 artists in there, and it's constantly changing, putting new paintings up. It's the old bistro idea that we started from the French.
And which came first, the gallery or the cafe?
Well, it was about the same time. That's when the city came in and said that we had to have a restaurant in the gallery setting. So it happened about the same time.
Did you offer a full dinner menu from the very beginning?
Yep, from the very beginning.
Is that right? That's spectacular. Your executive chef, real quick, Tommy, is that someone that's been with you for a while?
Carlos came in the first couple of weeks when we were building, and we signed him up, and he got to sit in his house and just relax for a few months while we finished the restaurant. So we had to pay him because he was excellent. We wanted to keep him, and we've got him 8 years now. So it's great.
8 years since the opening.
And he keeps creating new dishes constantly every season.
How frequently do you all have art shows there in the gallery?
We have one in the spring and one in the fall,
Right,
and it gives us a great reason to change everything.
right.
It's constantly changing.
You kicked off the fall art show on October 23rd.
And it'll continue for the next couple of months up until Christmas. Great time to get a present for somebody.
What do you find being the most difficult aspect of managing both a gallery and a restaurant, being actively involved in the ownership and managing along with being a full-time artist?
Well, I think it's entertaining. You're constantly making sure. I care a lot about it because it's my place, and I want to make sure everybody has a wonderful time. And it will take its toll on you. You have to be able to relax because you're constantly giving attention to somebody else. So I have to go away, like to Paris, to go and be taken care of myself.
Tommy Davis, a local artist and entrepreneur, has been commissioned to go to Paris, France in January, and also commissioned to highlight the first anniversary edition of the Round Myrtle Beach magazine, which you can catch on newsstands this weekend. Tommy, thanks so much for being with us.
That's right. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned for more Carolina People coming up next. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're in Conway, South Carolina, at the historic train depot on Highway 905. We're focused on the first anniversary of Around Myrtle Beach magazine, and we're visiting with one of its writers, Laura Lewis. Laura, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Incredible opportunity to highlight much of what's happened over the last year. I think this is the fourth issue that's come out to highlight the events leading up to the big cover piece, Tommy Davis's artwork, and commissioned to recognize Barefoot Resort.
Right.
And you have been with the magazine for how long?
Well, I've been writing for about the past couple of issues. You know, it comes out, I think, quarterly. So I've been working with Jerry, the editor, Jerry Osmond, and he's had me do some freelance articles. And I've covered mainly the North End. I've covered the fall migration and the shagging scene up there, and I interviewed Billy Smith in North Myrtle Beach, the disc jockey, and you know, he's popular with the beach music scene. So
Right.
a lot of
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of
Myrtle.
north-oriented type stories that I've done. Right.
Horry County is such a large county, and there's so many activities. You get into Brunswick County a good bit as well.
I have, yes. I do. I live in Little River, so it's just across the state line right there. And I try to go up at least to Calabash and hopefully beyond that, too.
Great.
Do some stories, freelancing.
A little bit about yourself, Laura. Are you originally from the area?
Well, I'm originally from Tennessee. I moved here in 1983, though, so I've probably lived here longer than I have anywhere else. And gotten to know it pretty well, the area.
Do you have family in the area?
No, just my kids. My parents still live in Tennessee in Gatlinburg, which is another tourist area, as you probably know. So it's sort of in my blood.
Do you do pieces, or do you do any freelance work for any publications other than Around Myrtle Beach?
Yes, I've been writing for the North Myrtle Beach Times. That sort of helps keep me locally oriented, which I really like to do. And I've also written for People magazine for about 10 years now. I've done freelancing for them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What, are there some pieces that folks may be familiar with that you've done with them?
Oh, well, I have worked on a couple of cover stories. The first one I ever did was in regard to the actor Brandon Lee. You may remember when he was in Wilmington. And also a few years ago I got called down to Florida to help cover when John F. Kennedy Jr. got married. So that was my 15 minutes there, I guess, to get to help do that. It
Yeah,
was fun.
definitely.
Yeah.
I bet that was. You were down. That was down in what part of that was the northern part of Florida?
Yes, he actually was married, I believe it was on Cumberland Island, Georgia, but, you know, it's right there at the Florida line, and so that's where we stayed, in the Amelia Island area.
Right, right. And the story there on Brandon Lee, you said was that in Wilmington?
Mm-hmm,
I don't
that's
remember
right.
that exactly. What?
Well, that was probably one of the first things I ever worked on for them. I believe it was in 1992, so that was some years back.
Right.
And he was acting, and they were filming a movie up there. He was accidentally shot and killed on the movie set. And so I worked on that. It was you know, an unfortunate story.
Right.
That was one of the first things that I did for people.
For some viewers who don't write on a regular basis or have never gone through that, what's it like to research and produce an article on a regular basis, to be constantly thinking of both local, regional, and national topics?
Well, it's a juggling act, and, you know, but I think it sort of gets in your blood, and, you know, I don't know that I could do anything else. And so now that I'm writing for several different publications, you know, I just, I do things that I'm assigned to do, and then I try to come up with my own ideas as well. And, you know, it's just keep a good schedule and follow it.
When you talk about coming up with your own ideas, are there some particular focus that you've had, any subjects that you really try to dig deep into?
Yes, I really like to do feature writing, which is, I guess, is what I'm doing for Around Myrtle Beach most of the time. And I like to do people stories, people-oriented stories. I like to cover different communities. I sort of like to dig a little bit, you know, beyond just the news. And you know, like there's, I think it's on CBS News, there's a reporter that, you know, everybody has a story, and that's true, everybody does.
Absolutely.
So,
That can enable us to have a show like Carolina People. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Everyone's got a story. And I'm so glad you can be here to share yours, or even just a smidgen of yours. Topics that when you think of feature stories, when viewers hear the word feature stories, you mean like a big highlighting stories that a magazine or a newspaper will open up with.
Right.
That require a heck of a lot of research oftentimes.
Yeah, sure. It does, but it's fun too, you know, and it can incorporate the news too as well. I think it just, you know, is more of a feature-y, you know, flowing type story that you can try to paint pictures, you know, with your words. So that makes it fun.
What kind of topics have you covered for Around Myrtle Beach magazine in the last couple of issues you've been involved with?
Well, I've covered the North End mainly. There was the fall migration with the Shaggers.
Right.
They had their Main Street party recently, and I went down there with my new digital camera, and so I was became photojournalist that day. So that was fun. And I've also covered the Red, White, and Blue Ball recently, which is a fundraiser for the aquatic center that they're trying to build in North Myrtle Beach. And that's pretty much it.
How would you compare working for a daily newspaper and working for Around Myrtle Beach?
I would say most immediately it's probably a lot less intense. Obviously, when you're writing for a daily newspaper, you're pretty much on daily deadlines. So you have a little more leeway, I think, to work on stories, and that makes it nice. A little more time to work on your writing.
So that has probably helped. If someone was to ask you how working with a magazine changed the way you write an article, how would you think when you think that through?
Well, I think you just, again, I think you try to write, you know, more creatively with your words, and you have the time to do that. You're not just, you know, trying to hammer out on a daily deadline. So hopefully that shows in the final product.
Sure, I'm sure. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about some of the recent projects or planned projects you have underway?
Well, I am working on some community ideas. I don't want to disclose too much now, but I do have some things in mind. I always do. But I would like to get a little closer to some of the communities and a little more focused on that with my writing.
But nothing in particular, not even a glimpse of into the future.
Well, no, I really don't have anything that I can disclose right now. I'm working on some things for people, too, and I don't know if I'm at liberty really to tell that ahead of time, but stay tuned.
Viewers, stay tuned to Laura Lewis. She'll have the opportunity, hopefully, to catch her in People magazine in the near future, even more soon recognized, and around Myrtle Beach magazine. Catch it on the newsstands. Laura, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Jason Pippin and Carolina Southern Railroad for helping make Carolina People such a great success.